year was 1987. The temperature outside had dropped to negative 42 degrees Fahrenheit, and somewhere deep inside the Montana wilderness, with no phone, no radio, and no way out, a man was completely alone. That man was me. My name is Daniel Webb. I was 34 years old, a high school history teacher from Billings. I was not a survival expert. I was not a trained soldier. I had never done anything more dangerous in my life than a weekend camping trip. And yet, on the night of November 14th, 1987, the wilderness decided to test me in a way I will never forget. What you are about to hear is not a story about strength. It is not a story about bravery. It is a story about one thing and one thing only: the stubborn, desperate, clawing refusal to give up. It started the way most disasters do, with complete confidence that nothing could go wrong. I had planned a 3-day solo hiking trip into the Beartooth Mountains. I had done it twice before. I packed a small tent, a sleeping bag rated to minus 10 degrees, 3 days of food, a topographic map, and a compass. My wife Carol stood at the door as I loaded the truck. She looked at the sky and said, "Daniel, the weather doesn't feel right." I kissed her on the cheek and told her not to worry. The first day was perfect. Crisp air, a brilliant blue sky, pine trees heavy with fresh snow. I made good time, covered about 12 miles, and set up camp near a frozen creek just before sundown. I remember sitting outside that evening, eating a granola bar, and thinking, this is exactly what I needed. I had no idea it would be the last peaceful moment I would have for the next 72 hours. The second morning, I woke up, and the sky had completely changed. It was a flat, heavy gray, the kind of gray that experienced outdoorsmen recognize immediately. I did not recognize it. I packed up camp, checked my map, and started heading back toward the trailhead. The snow started falling lightly at first, then harder. Within an hour, visibility had dropped to less than 20 feet. Every tree looked identical. Every ridge looked the same. I checked my compass, rechecked my map, and kept walking. After 3 hours, I realized I was walking in circles. I had passed the same fallen pine tree twice. I was lost. By mid-afternoon, my fingers had gone numb. The temperature was dropping fast, and the wind had picked up to what felt like 30 miles per hour. I knew I had maybe 2 hours of light left. I made a decision that, looking back, probably saved my life. I stopped trying to find my way out, and I started looking for a place to survive the night. I found a natural depression between two large boulders on the leeward side of a ridge, meaning the wind was hitting the other side. It wasn't much, but it was something. The boulders blocked roughly 60% of the wind. That 60% was going to matter more than I knew. Here is something most people don't realize about snow. It is one of the best natural insulators on Earth. The same material that is killing you can also save you if you know how to use it. I had read about snow shelters once, years before, in an old Boy Scout manual. I never thought I would need that information. I was grateful I had read it. I spent 45 minutes packing snow into a dome shape between the boulders, about 5 feet high and 7 feet wide. Then I let it sit. This is the part most people would skip, and it would cost them their lives. When you compact snow and let it rest, the crystals bond together and the structure becomes dramatically stronger. After 30 minutes, I began digging inward from one side.
The flame appears, almost catches, wavers desperately, and goes out, the ember cooling from orange to black. 2 chances gone, only 2 remain.
I made one small ventilation hole in the ceiling with a stick. That hole was not optional. Without it, my own breath would fill the space with carbon dioxide, and I would not wake up in the morning. When I crawled inside and blocked the entrance with my backpack, I checked the temperature with the small thermometer on my keychain. Outside, -38. Inside my snow shelter, -4. A 34-degree difference, built entirely from the thing that was trying to kill me. I had a lighter that had gotten wet. I had 4 matches left, 4 chances. The key to starting fire in wet, windy conditions is preparation. Everything must be done before you strike a single match, because once you start, you cannot stop. I gathered the driest tinder I could find, the underside of a dead pine branch where no snow had reached, some dry pine needles I found pressed between 2 flat rocks, and a few strips of birch bark. I tucked all of it inside my jacket against my skin for 15 minutes to draw out any remaining moisture using my body heat alone. Then I built the fire structure. Small pieces first, a tiny teepee shape, no larger than my fist. I blocked the wind with my body, curved my hands around the match as I struck it,
I have
and held
to stay
my
conscious.
breath.
My voice
First
keeps me
match,
short
nothing.
in this frozen silence.
Second match, a spark, then gone. Third match, the tinder caught, just barely. I leaned in slowly, breathed on it with the gentlest possible exhale, and watched a tiny flame grow from nothing into something real. I have never felt such relief in my life. That fire kept me alive through the night. I fed it every 20 to 30 minutes. I did not sleep. I could not afford to. Around 2 in the morning, the shivering stopped. If you have never experienced a severe cold, that might sound like a good thing. It is not. It is one of the most terrifying signs in wilderness survival. When your body stops shivering, it means your core temperature has dropped so low that your muscles no longer have the energy to generate heat. You are entering the final stage of hypothermia. People in this stage often feel warm. They sometimes remove their clothing, and then they die. I knew this, and knowing it was the only thing that saved me. I forced myself to stand up. I slapped my own hands together. I did jumping jacks inside that tiny snow shelter, hitting my head on the ceiling, not caring. I got my fire burning higher. I stayed on my feet for the next 2 hours, moving constantly, talking out loud to myself, saying my daughter's name over and over. Sarah, Sarah, Sarah. She was 4 years old. She was waiting for me at home, and I was not going to let her grow up without her father. The third morning, I had survived 2 nights. My right foot had 2 toes showing early signs of frostbite. They had turned a pale, waxy white. My food was completely gone. I was running on nothing but cold water I had melted from snow over the fire, and whatever stubbornness was left inside